I didn't move my hands at all, I just hinged the golf club. I'm hinging at that 45-degree angle. If I go up like this, it cups my wrist. If I go back like this, it bows my wrist. If I go at the 45, it really keeps my wrist nice and flat throughout my swing. All right, here we are in rainy San Diego today at the beautiful Fairmont Grand Del Mar in the Grand Golf Club. We're the only ones out here today, so Big Kev and I thought we would give you a video on the perfect wrist hinge, on the ideal wrist hinge. You know, we get a lot of questions about the direction of the hinge, what is exact, what do people have to feel in order to create what they need to get their club and their wrist set in the proper position halfway back here. So what I've done, and this is an old school drill that I've created years back, you know, if you followed us for a while, you may have seen this. It's this little 90-degree angle that I have with the white alignment rods here. You know, one rod defines the line of my feet. The other one defines my ball position that's perpendicular to my stance. And then I have this yellow rod splitting the two right at a 45-degree angle. Now, what I love about this is this yellow rod is actually the direction that the hinge should be taking place. So guys, if the end goal was to have the hands and club down the line of the feet right here when the golf club is parallel to the ground. You know, that's checkpoint 1 right there in the golf swing. Why? Well, if I just rotate right back around, that hits the ball right down the line on the perfect path, right? We can understand that if I'm outside that, it's going this way. If I'm inside that, it's going that way without any manipulation. We're always trying to build a golf swing requiring the least amount of manipulation on the way down. A huge part of that is how you set the club. So here's the thing. With the goal of the swing being to set the golf club in a position that I can then just turn that set position at the top and drive that set position right back down to the slot in a position where I can rotate and release the club down the line, this chart right here is perfect for us. Okay, so we're going to do two things for you today. I'm going to show you from this angle, and Kev's going to try something different. We've had a lot of people ask us, can they see it from my angle? So I've been doing a lot of FaceTimes lately where I'll hold the camera right at my eyes and show people the direction of this hinge, okay? So, here we go. 50% of this is turn, 50% of this is hinge. It's not happening hinge then turn, it's not happening turn then hinge. It's a blending of the two, but why I like this, I like having this visual of if I wasn't turning at all, how much hinge is happening and in what direction is it happening? And that's answered right here. If I set up, and I didn't move my hands at all, I just hinged the golf club. I'm hinging at that 45-degree angle. Now, if I combine that with a turn, that goes right down the line of my feet when it's parallel to the ground. If I blend that together, there it is. If I keep going, look at that. That reaches that set position about belt high there where the butt of the club is pointed down at the inside of the golf ball, maybe just inside that and riding up my right forearm. But that happens to be the position to where the golf club is in front of me, okay? In front of my hands, and my hands are in front of my body. I love the white line for a reason here as well. That's the line that my hands are hanging, and the hand path in the beginning of the swing should be right down that line, okay? So my hands go down that line right to where I get the club in the set position, and then they turn up that imaginary escalator from here to here that is just simply in the direction of my body's turn, okay? So, you have hand path, you have ball position, you have the direction of your hinge, you have 50% hinge, you have 50% turn, you blend those together to get to that checkpoint 1 position, and you're halfway home in the golf swing. Now, Kev, let's see if we can give the viewer an angle right from my perspective here. Okay, so here we go. So I'm feeling my hinge happening in this direction right here. So when I do this and then turn, there's the position I want to be in. Now, if I brought my hands up to make it even easier to see, guys, it's in a 45-degree angle here. Now, that's right there. Now, when I do that and then turn, that gets my club in the perfect set position. So there's the hinge that should be happening right there. Mixed with the turn, there it is right to checkpoint 1. Now, here's the thing. For the player who rolls it inside, they might need to feel more up in front of them on this white line. I have a player I work with this morning who actually gets way outside like this. So they need to feel like the hinge is happening more down the white line. Well, what are you doing? Are you somebody who gets the club like this? Are you somebody who gets the club like this? Well, if you're somebody who gets the golf club like this, yeah, you're going to need to feel more up to the nose. If you're somebody who keeps the club out there too long, yeah, you're going to need to feel it break more towards the white line initially. But here's the thing. There's two things I think are really important about this. Forget the feeling of what you need to exaggerate to get to the actual. What is the actual? Porzak Golf, we always teach, Mike, myself, we teach an actuality. Yes, of course, the person in front of us will give you more of what you need to feel to create that, but we don't like to over-teach, and we don't like to teach with exaggeration, because typically, if you teach with exaggeration, that person goes back and forth, back and forth. We like to teach literal, okay? The literal is the club hinges at a 45-degree angle. If I go up like this, it cups my wrist. If I go back like this, it bows my wrist. If I go at the 45, it really keeps my wrist nice and flat throughout my swing, okay, that left wrist. Here's the other part of that. Besides just the 45 degrees here, the butt of the club should really work towards the golf ball. You know, that's the swing plane that we're creating. That's the hinge on a door. You know, you put the hinge on the door, it's going to close the right way every time. You take that hinge and move it, well, now it's closing a different way every time, and you now need to manipulate something to get it to close the right way. And that's tough to do. That's why it's important to understand, hey, 45 degrees, that ends up being the club right down the line of the feet when it's parallel to the ground. That ends up relaying into butt of the club towards the golf ball with the club up that trail forearm. And that right there is how you set the club properly. All right, so here's the thing. You can leave this up there, and now we take this guy out of here. Okay, now we can hit balls like this and actually, be able to work on the direction of that hinge. You can work it down the line. You can do what I call the set go, where you set it and rotate through. And, after practicing that as many times as I did showing you guys, I set that one perfectly, and that ball went right down the line. And what's great about that, my trail hand gets that proper crease right there that I can feel like I maintain throughout my swing. And when I let it go at the bottom as I release, it puts that golf club in a square position to where I have that forward shaft lean. I trap the golf ball just like this. It's a great feeling. If I were to have that set any other way, I would have had to feel manipulation through impact when doing that drill. So it's a great drill to set. Make sure you're in the right spot and then go. All right, so if you're having any questions with how to set the club, with how to get your wrists in the right position, how to hinge them, this is a wonderful drill. Either take 3 golf clubs or 3 alignment rods, create a 90-degree angle, split the difference, put this little station behind you. As we talked about, you can move this rod and you can actually hit golf balls here with that visual, and that will really help you set the club properly, get your wrists in the right position, and set your swing on the path of the least amount of manipulation. At Porzak Golf, we take a lot of pride in having developed some of the best and most consistent golf swings on the planet. We do this through simplicity. Our Full Swing Masterclass will take you on a step-by-step, easy-to-understand process on how to get your golf swing better than ever. Join the many before you who've utilized our Full Swing Masterclass to take their games to the next level and beyond.